Yep. This is what we're doing here right now. And I'm gonna go shoot. I don't know. I'm just crazy, I think. Look at this. Look at all that snow. This is ridiculous. And hopefully I can get to my shoot. And I'm gonna take you along and just show you some behind the scenes. I mean, look at my car. This. So I don't know if this is true or not, but I looked on the GPS and it said that the back roads would be quicker to get to the place where I'm shooting, and so I'm just gonna try the back roads and see if that's true or not. Just hopefully they cleaned all the snow back there, because I don't know, I'm getting stuck in the middle of nowhere. And I don't even know why I'm going out to shoot. I just want to shoot in the snowstorm. Like, this is the thing. That's what I do for you guys. Oh, the snow is the pictures are gonna turn out amazing. You guys will love them. And I actually just got a text from my wife saying there's a car accident on the highway. And there was no accident on the back road, so good thing I took the back roads. Alright, so we're all here. This is Lexi. She's gonna be modeling. Look at this snow.
It's so bad.
It is insane, and what's crazy is, like, I don't know how I made it in here. Like, getting out of here, getting out of this spot, it's gonna be hard.
Make a snow angel.
All right, let's go shoot. Let's go shoot. Okay, I've never done this, and we don't have another person who's gonna be recording, so I hope this works, and you guys you can kind of see what we're doing, but we're gonna shoot over here. So I was just shooting on the 24, I'm going to shoot on the 35, and then I might shoot the 85, just so you know with what I'm shooting. It is so cold, so cold.
So chilly.
Alright, so we came to another location because it's a lot better. This place is actually, like, I mean, take a look at this. Like, it's so perfect. All those trees over there. Got an awesome model over here. Oh, it's going so good. Well, next time I'll bring along another person that can just record everything, and then I can talk into the camera, because setting up a tripod or this little leg thingy, Gorilla Pod, it's just a pain. But hopefully you guys can see what we're doing. There you go. There's a car coming. Alright, that's it. Gotta say bye to her, and then I'll show you guys all these edits once I get home. It's gonna be so good. Thank you, Lexi. You'll definitely see more of her because we got a couple of projects that we're gonna do together, so it's gonna be super fun. Now I gotta go get warm inside because it's been freezing. Alright, well, I just got home. I had a police was driving right behind me, and there's a stop sign, and I didn't stop on it because if I knew if I stopped there, I would not be able to get out of that spot. So, and he was, I noticed him as I just left, and I'm just like, I just really hope that he's understanding that, hey, it's terrible weather. And he was. He followed me for a little bit, and then he just drove away. So that was great. So I'm home, finally done with the shoot. let's get out of this cold now. Let's go do some editing. Oh, but first I'm gonna actually clean my wife's car, because like by morning you would not be able to find it. I mean, look at this. Like, yep. Like, what is that? What is this snow? I'm like how deep this is. So insane. Alright, so I'm gonna clean that up and then we'll see inside and then we're gonna do some editing. Alright. Alright, so this is gonna be a little bit embarrassing. I shot that video a while back when it was a crazy snowstorm, and I was like, okay, I gotta edit it. And then I came home and had stuff come up and I was like, shoot. And so time went on. I ended up not editing that video, and the snow melted and everything went away. So I was like, okay, there's no point of me doing it now. But then I still want to show you guys how I edit and how those shots turn out. So today in Minnesota, it snowed again. So I'm like, hey, what a great opportunity to finish this video. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do today. We are gonna finish that video and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna edit. So gonna get into this computer. All right, so when you have your photo selected in Bridge, which I have right here, gonna select all these photos and gonna drag them into Lightroom. Import dialog will open up. Gonna hit import. And one thing to note that everybody does this a little bit differently, but I like to select my images in Bridge and then bring them into Lightroom. And for the sake of making this video not 2 hours long, I'm just gonna edit these 9 photos so you guys can see the steps of how I do this. Once all the photos are in Lightroom, I'm gonna double tap the first image, then head over to develop. On the left side, I have all my presets that you can purchase, and I'll leave the link to them below. The presets that I will be using are gonna be for my preset pack 3. I'll be using the 10th and 11th one. I love these 2 presets, just personal preference, especially for now going out from winter to spring, it's gonna be perfect. So for this first image, I'm gonna use preset 10, and then all the adjustments are gonna be made right there. And then I'm just gonna go through and do minor adjustments. Gonna pull down the contrast, pull up the highlights, and then right off the bat, I'm gonna just resize the image so her eyes are perfectly in the rule of thirds. And got some snowflakes on the forehead, so I'm gonna remove those right now. And Lightroom sometimes is weird where it chooses its selection. That looks better. Gonna bring the whites up a little bit, bring the dehaze down a little bit. What I'll actually do is I'm gonna touch up the eyes a little bit. I'm gonna use the brush tool, or if you use the quick keys, you can hit the letter K. I'm just gonna do a click on the eyes, and then I'm gonna go into the adjustment palette and do some minor adjustment. Bring up the saturation, bring up the clarity. To see before and after, there's a little toggle that you can switch on and off to see what your adjustment just did. So we're gonna bring the blues back in a little bit in the eyes. Once I'm done, I hit the letter K, zoom back out, looks good. Then going into the tone curve, gonna bring up the whites just a little bit, crush my blacks a little more, gonna bring up the blacks a little bit. All right, that's pretty much it. You can see a little before and after. Super easy. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to image 2, which is a lot brighter. So I'm gonna use preset 10 from pack 3. So right away, it is really bright, so I'm gonna bring the exposure down a bit. Gonna bring the contrast down as well. Bring the highlights back up a little bit. Just gonna make sure it doesn't look too blown out or too underexposed. Bring the colors back. And for this particular image, I want it to be a little bit warmer, so I'm gonna bring the temperature up a little bit and then bring the tint down. And in this image, I'm seeing the light post coming out from her head. And because we are shooting in the sky, it's gonna be super easy to just against the sky, it's gonna be super easy to get rid of that. Usually I try to make sure that when I shoot, I don't have that there, but I don't know what happened here. So I'm just gonna get those out of there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Command E and Mac. If you're on a PC, you might be hitting Control E. So then what it's gonna do, it's gonna open up Photoshop for us. Okay, now that we have Photoshop opened up, I'm gonna zoom in onto those light posts. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the patch tool. And you can find the patch tool on the Healing Brush batch of Healing Brush editing tools. It's the third one down. We're gonna hit patch. We're gonna drag it and then sample it from the sky. Again, it's super easy because we're shooting against a blank canvas, so it's gonna be super easy to do this. And then we're just gonna go through and adjust those things. And if anything looks kind of funky, I'm just gonna use the stamp tool to clean it up a little bit. You just use the Option key and made a selection from the sky, and then tapping through and making sure it all looks even. And because it is kind of snowy, hazy, even if that feather from that sample falls over on the hat, it looks fine. So after that, we're just gonna hit Command Save, and done. There you go, it's done. Gonna go back into Lightroom. So I'm gonna use my preset 10 from pack 3. Gonna bring the exposure down on this image. Bring up the clarity just a little bit. And then I'm gonna use K. Hit K for the brush tool. I'm gonna do a light brush on her face to bring some pop into the face. And if you look at my adjustments, my numbers are very small. Not gonna do much adjustments. So, and then I'm gonna do R to readjust my image. And I'm gonna take and get rid of this little lanyard that was down here. Use just the tool that's in Lightroom to get rid of it. So then moving on to the next image. For this image, I'm gonna use the 10th preset from the pack 3. Gonna resize it a little bit. Gonna bring up the exposure. Gonna bring up the temperature. And then I'm gonna edit the eyes again using the K button. Just add some color to them, make them more blue. Bring up the clarity a little bit. Gonna crush the whites just a little bit. And then crush the blacks a little bit as well. You can see a before and after right there. And going on to the next image. Gonna use preset 10 again as well in this image. Bring the whites and the highlights up. For me, the image looks a little too blue, so I'm gonna bring the temperature up. We'll bring the tint up a little bit as well. Like I said before, just playing around with those sliders. Subtle adjustments, but it will do a lot to your images. Bring the vibrance up back just a little bit, just like that. Adding all those colors back to the trees. There's more color in the hair and in the jeans as well. I'm gonna go to the HSL box, and my blues and luminances vary down to make it darker, so. And I'm actually gonna go to saturation, bring the blues down there as well, to have those blue muted tones. That's what I really like to go for. Done, loving it. Going on to the next image, resize it right away. For this one, I'm actually gonna use the 11th preset. I'm gonna pull down the shadows in this guy, bring the whites back up, slide the contrast back in just a little bit, not too much. I'm gonna add temperature to make it warmer, just like that. That's exactly how I want it to look. Adjust the eyes just very quickly. Make sure you hit K. Sharpness and clarity, make them a little more blue. Add a little more saturation and bring the exposure down just a little bit. You can see the before and after right there. Done. That looks good. Going on to the next image. I'm gonna use the 11th preset for this image as well. Gonna resize it, making sure the eyes are centered. Gonna bring up the highlights and the whites, pull the shadows down. That red is really popping, so I'm gonna bring the saturation of the red down. Gonna make this image a little bit warmer so I can bring some skin tones back. That looks a lot better. Softer tones in the skin, and our hands aren't as pink anymore. I'm gonna use the brush tool again just to run the highlight down her forehead. Perfect. And I want more contrast in the image, so I'm gonna use preset 10. Adjust those, bring up the temperature up a bit. And by pulling the blacks and shadows, I can add even more contrast. So pull those down just a little bit. Looks good. Going on to the last image, gonna use the 11th preset. Gonna bring the exposure up, gonna bring up the temperature. And I love how these blues are just perfectly muted just like that. Bring down the dehaze. Pull blacks down a little bit. Go to toe curve. Just crush them just a little bit so we get some detail back out of the darks, out of the blacks. Crush the whites just a little bit, make them a little bit softer. Boom. And once you're all done, hit library, and select all the images besides that one image with the 2 light posts. And we're gonna hit export, choose your export destination, and I'm gonna save these in my Lexi folder. And images, and then export. So, I really hope that all made sense to you guys. If you have any questions, make sure you leave comments below, or you can Instagram DM me, or if you don't have any questions and you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Do all the good stuff that all the YouTubers tell you to do. And I'm not really a YouTuber because I really suck at posting, but I'm gonna be trying to do my best, really trying to do my best. So, all right, hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe, keep shooting, never stop shooting. Make this a great year, a shooting year. Bye.